Is it I have lived here for 5 years, or I have been living here for 5 years? And is it today I will show you, or today I will be showing you? Sometimes the difference between a simple and a continuous tense isn't that obvious, but today I'll show you 4 simple rules that will help you finally understand when to use each one and stop making one of the most common mistakes students of every level make. Are you ready? Before we start, when we talk about the difference between the simple and continuous tenses, specifically we're talking about these 4 pairs of tenses. The present simple, like I go, with the present continuous, like I am going, the past simple, like I went, and the past continuous, like I was going, the present perfect simple, I've lived, and the present perfect continuous, I've been living, and the future simple, I will go, and the future continuous, I will be going. Okay, so they're the pairs of tenses that people normally make mistakes with and use one instead of the other. By the way, stay until the end because we're going to do a little quiz together, and I think you'll find it really useful to see small differences between these 2 types of tenses, the simple and continuous. Okay, so there are 2 different types of actions that we will be talking about during this lesson. The way I like to think of them are that one action is a continuous action and the other type of action is a BAM action. Okay, so continuous actions are, and I will explain this more in the video, but they are in progress, repeated, or temporary, and BAM actions happen instantly. Okay, BAM! It's happened. They're finished. Now, if you're new here, I'm Greg. I've helped thousands of students reach an advanced level of English fluency through my online courses and this YouTube channel. I publish a new video every Friday, so subscribe if you want to reach an advanced level of English with me. And as always, you can download today's free worksheet. There's a link up there. There's a QR code there, and there's a link in the description. This week's worksheet includes a full summary of this lesson and a test with answers so you can keep practicing everything from this lesson. It's my gift to you, and the best thing is that you will then receive each new worksheet automatically via email every time I publish a new video every Friday. Okay, so let's have a look at the first rule. Rule number 1 is we use simple tenses for regular actions and the continuous tense for actions that are still happening now. Now, this first rule is the main idea of these tenses, and it works for every time frame, okay? Past, present, present perfect, and future. So, the simple tense, I stand up to make these videos. It's a fact, it's a habit, it's something regular. Every time I make a video, I stand up to teach. Now, continuous, I'm not sitting down now, I'm standing up now. Okay, that's a temporary action and it's happening now. It's in process. I am standing up. Here's another example. I work from home. All right, it's a fact. It's a habit. It's something regular. Every day, Monday to Friday, I work from home. But in the continuous tense, I'm working from my parents' house this week. That's a temporary action. It's happening around now, but it's temporary. Like, it's not a regular fact. So when you're deciding between the simple or continuous, ask yourself, is this something that happens regularly? If it is, use the simple tense. Or is it happening right now or temporary? If it is, use the continuous tense. Okay, rule number 2. We use the simple tense for whole actions and the continuous tense is when you are in the middle of an action. Okay, so basically, when we use the simple tense, we see the whole action from start to finish. But when we use the continuous, we're focusing inside the action. Okay, it's in progress. We're not talking about the whole action. Let's have a look at an example to see this in action. The simple. I watched a film yesterday. The action is complete. We're talking about the whole film from start to finish. Simple past. But I was watching a film when you called. Here we're focusing on the process of watching a film and we're zooming in to the middle of that whole action. Now, we very, very often use this structure when we're talking about one action, a continuous action, like watching a film, and a BAM action that interrupts the continuous action. Like this, I was watching a film. Okay, it's a continuous action when, BAM, you called. Okay, you called, that's a BAM action which interrupts the movie. I was cooking, again, a continuous action, when, BAM, ow, I burnt myself. And I was walking in the street, again, continuous action, when, BAM, I saw the accident. Okay, this is a really, really common way to use both tenses at the same time, and probably the clearest way to see the difference between these two types of tenses. Now look at the example with the present perfect pair. I've lived here for 5 years, or I've been living here for 5 years. This is tricky because both are correct. The continuous form shows that the action is still happening and will continue in the future. Okay, we're in the middle of the action that we're talking about. But if we use the simple tense, I've lived here for 5 years, it's still happening now, but we're just the focus is on that 5-year period. So with this particular example, it's just the focus of the sentence that changes a little bit depending on which tense you use. And another common example of this is with work. I've worked here for 5 years, or I've been working here for 5 years. In both situations, you're still working there now, but the focus of the sentence is more on being in the middle of the action when we use the continuous tense, and more on the time completed when we use the simple tense. Okay, it's a very small difference. It just depends where you want to put the emphasis on your sentence. And again, going back to the other example that I showed you at the beginning of this video, today I will show you, or today I will be showing you, well, again, both are correct, but the focus changes slightly. So with the continuous, the focus is on the continuous nature of me showing you, or me explaining something for you. Okay, I'm putting the focus on the middle of that continuous action. But if I say today I will show you, here we're just focusing on the complete action. Again, both are correct. It's a very small difference, and you can really use one or the other, and I don't think anybody will really care. All right, one more example. You know I have a membership for students who want to reach an advanced level of English. Well, I give them one small English lesson every day, 5 days a week, which helps them improve their pronunciation, listening, grammar, and vocabulary. It's called Daily Quick Fix, and it might actually be a good choice for you if you're busy and want to reach an advanced level of English. I'll put a link in the description for you. Well, if we're talking about my students there, we could say some of my Daily Quick Fix students have been studying with me for years. Or some of my students have studied with me for years. So again, where do we want to put the emphasis? On the continuous nature of this, or on the completed time? All right, as before, it's a continuous action. It started in the past, it's still happening now, and it will continue into the future. And if we're focusing on that continuous, ongoing nature that we are in the middle of right now, they are continuously learning, all right, then we use the continuous tense. If we just want to say, hey, 5 years, then we could say they have studied with me for 5 years, and we're just focusing on that completed time period. All right, whew. Okay, the next rule is much more black and white, you will be happy to know. Rule number 3, when we use the simple tense, we're talking about permanent states. When we use the continuous, we're talking about temporary states or changing situations. You see, some situations are permanent, and other situations, obviously, are temporary or change. So we use the simple tense for things that are true in general, and the continuous for things that are temporary or changing situations. A good example of this is, he lives in London. Simple tense. That's a permanent situation. Okay? But a continuous tense here, he's living in London, this expresses the fact that this is a temporary situation. He's a German boy, he's living in London, but yeah, soon, next year, the year after, maybe in 5 years' time, he will return to Germany. So it's a temporary situation, so we need the continuous tense there. Another example with the simple tense, I teach English on YouTube. That's a permanent situation, but your English is improving. That's a changing situation. It's not necessarily something that you can see and feel happening right now, in this moment, but it's a changing situation, okay? Because you're not staying at the same level. Every time you watch one of my videos, you are improving a little bit. You're learning something new. Your English is getting better. So for changing situations, use the present continuous. Remember, I know this is a lot to learn, so that's why you can download that worksheet for the full summary, which is yours to keep. And it also comes with extra examples that I didn't have time to include in this video. So make sure you get that so you understand this grammar once and for all. Okay, rule number 4 is that some verbs don't normally use the continuous. You see, some verbs are called stative verbs or state verbs, and they don't describe actions. They describe states, and these types of verbs don't normally take the continuous form. Some common stative verbs are know, like, believe, love, want, understand, and mean. And these always stay in the simple tense because they describe feelings or thoughts or possession. Have is another one. We don't say I am having a car, we say I have a car. I am knowing the answer. No, I know the answer. I am wanting a drink. No, I want a drink. What are you meaning? No, what do you mean? Okay, so that's a very simple rule. Once you know the stative verbs, just think that we almost never use them in the continuous tense. Okay, we're going to do a short exercise together now, which I think you're going to find really, really useful. So you can see the small differences between these types of tenses, the continuous and present tenses. Before we do the test, let's have a quick review of these 4 rules. So we use the simple tenses for regular actions and the continuous tense for actions that are happening right now. We use the simple for whole actions and the continuous when we're talking about the middle of an action. We use the simple to describe permanent states and the continuous to describe temporary states or changing situations. And finally, stative verbs. Don't use the continuous. Okay, so let's do this quick test together. 5 questions. You have 3 seconds to answer each one, and then I want you to write your score in the comments. So let's go. Number 1, I English every day. Study, simple tense, because it's a regular action. So it's regular, so we use the simple tense. Number 2, with the verb watch, they a film when I arrived. Were watching. Okay, we're talking about the past here. We need the past continuous because this is a continuous action. We're talking about the middle of this whole action of watching a film. We're zooming in on the middle of it. Okay, or think of it this way. It's a continuous action which was interrupted with a bam action. They were watching a film when bam, I arrived. Okay, number 3, a film yesterday. Watched. Okay, here we need the simple, the past simple, because we're talking about yesterday, but we're focusing on the whole action. Okay, from start to finish, the whole film. I watched a film yesterday. Okay, so you can see how that differs to number 2 when we were focusing on the middle part, or the continuous nature of the film, which was interrupted by a bam action. And number 5, again with the verb live, he with friends until he finds a flat. Is living. Okay, here we're talking about a temporary situation because, yeah, right now he is living with friends. It's temporary because he is looking for a flat. And when he finds a flat, that temporary situation will change. So how did you do? How many questions did you get right? Just put your number in the comments. If you got 5, congratulations. If you got less, don't worry. I still want to hear from you. And actually, there is one more way we use the present continuous in English, and that is to talk about the future. Like, we are meeting some friends later today. So many students mix this up with the future with will. Like, we will meet friends later today. But I'm going to explain that difference between those 2 tenses in that video there. So watch that next. There's your free worksheet. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.